This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity. Salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect, believing on the words of Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Coming at you with another lesson, and Lord willing, is edifying. Yeah, the Lord has set up watchmen to warn you of the impending danger. Because Esau is now getting ready to put a squeeze on you, you know? So much so that your very livelihood is going to be at stake. Now, these devils has passed the Genius Bill, you know, dealing with the stable coin, which is a digital currency that is backed by the US dollar. All right? So you see the stage being set, how this devil is going to put the squeeze on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and even of his other people, you know? But the scriptures say, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? So Esau, the so-called white man, he don't care about his own people. His target, his aim, is for the children of Israel. More importantly, the elect of the children of Israel. All right? So I had this video queued I would like to share. You know? Yeah, the scriptures say we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. Let's see, the Lord, through our apostles and elders, has shown us, you know, his plans and purposes. You know, because this MOTB is really Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi's MOTB, man. He's just using Esau to push it forth into the planet Earth. All right? 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right, we're not ignorant of his. Matter of fact, let's get this word, devices. Could say we are not ignorant to his devices. Okay? Strong's G.
Strong's G 3540. Naima.
It says a mental perception. Yeah, this scheme, this plan has been well thought out, man. All right? It says thought and evil purpose, right? This MOTB, this mark of the beast that Esau wants to implement, is an evil purpose, man. You know? And he's going to push this thing forth through the desperation of the people, right? You see all these mass layoffs, these certain store closing, you know, and the people really are not going to have a sufficient way to live, you know. And Esau is going to present this plan to them, and most people is going to take it. All right. It said that which thinks, the mind, thoughts, or purposes. So his ultimate purpose is to have everybody shook, man. All right, to have everybody bowing down to him. You know, that's his ultimate plan. You see? Let's play the video. Well, this video is kind of long, like 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So tune in.
Let's start with the Genius Act. I'm very confused about the Genius Act. I thought there was a deal made by the president to make sure that included was going to be the central bank digital currency. There'd be no possibility of a backdoor to get that. So where are we?
Steve, let me explain something. In 1971, we went off of the gold standard. The Federal Reserve did that. And we went to cash, a cash society. And the value of the dollar has drastically gone down to the buying power is less than 10 cents now from where it was in the 1950s before we went off the gold reserve. What's happening today on July 17th in 2025 when no one is paying attention, no one's talking about it, everyone is in blind rage about the Epstein files, and I don't blame them. However, Right now, what is being voted on today in Congress is the entire setup, groundwork, and entire infrastructure being laid to move from cash to digital currency. And the number one thing that is not happening today is a ban on a central bank digital currency. This means the ability for the government to take control of your digital bank account where all your money is and turn it off. And this is why I'm so upset and it's not being talked about. Steve, I was the only no vote on the rule last night. And Congress set a record last night, and no one's talking about that either. This was the longest vote held open for a rule in history. And it finally shut down sometime around midnight because there was a deal made, and the deal will not be honored. It was a deal that Speaker Johnson made, and he said that he would put a ban on central bank digital currency in the NDAA. But let me tell you something. That's going to get stripped out in the Senate because what they told us all week long is the Senate does not have the votes to pass a ban on a central bank digital currency. So I want to lay this out straight for you all. You never thought in your lifetime that the government would shut you down, would close your churches, would close your schools, would close your business. And that happened only a few years ago. But what is happening today is the groundwork is being laid, and it's all in the name of cryptocurrency and stablecoin, but it is the entire regulatory process to switch us from cash to a cashless society to digital currency that can be controlled by the federal government. And there will be no ban on a central bank digital currency. There will be no way to protect your ability to fully control your digital currency in the future. And I'm voting no to this today. I don't know if there'll be any other no votes on the Republican side, but I'm voting no to this because I'm a Christian and I've read the Bible and I believe what Revelations 13:16 through 17 says. And I just cannot vote for a future system that will do that.
But okay, hang on. But I thought at one time you had a dozen or maybe 25. You had the House Freedom Caucus plus others that are saying, "Hey, we don't support any possibility of having a central bank digital currency." A lot of them are concerned about things in the Genius Act overall, but they're prepared to, say we'll let that go forward. But they're adamant about the central bank digital currency. Where are all the other dozen, 20, 24 people that were with you?
They remain concerned. Don't get me wrong. My colleagues remain. I'm not in the Freedom Caucus, so I'm going to lay that out right there. My colleagues remain concerned about a central bank digital currency. As a matter of fact, that was expressed as a concern by Republicans in every meeting that I was in. But yet there was no massive effort on a large scale to stop a central bank digital currency. It's just this. They were saying, we've got to deliver. The president wants this passed. We didn't even know about the Genius Act until Monday, but they're saying we have to have this passed. He wants a signing ceremony on Friday. He wants this done. And they're willing to push it forward without guaranteeing and passing on the front end. My demand is let's do this on the front end. Let's stop the central bank digital currency first, and then let's pass this stuff. But no one is willing to do that. They were willing to make deals that I don't believe will hold because we were told all week, Steve, by everyone, that a ban on CBDC, central bank digital currency, will not pass in the Senate. There are not 60 votes for that. So by Johnson putting it in the NDAA and saying this is our effort to get it to pass, it doesn't mean that it's going to pass in the Senate. They're going to gut it out. We watched them do that with the BBB. They're going to do it with Clarity, the other Bitcoin, the market regulatory bill that will pass today. They do this all the time, and the House constantly gets jammed. And here's one thing that really makes me angry, Steve. This was a closed rule. Johnson did not allow us to make amendments to the Genius Act, to make an amendment to put a ban on CBDC in the Genius Act. We were told, you don't have a right to amendments. You don't get to do your legislative process anymore. You just have to vote on it. And they forced it through, making what I think is a fake deal. And I wish the Freedom Caucus had held, but they didn't. They want to work and they want to pass the president's agenda, and I do too. But I'm not willing to go along with the pathway to a central bank digital currency in a cashless society where none of us can control our money. Because
right. Yeah, everything is leading to the micro C here, man. And we've been telling you, we've been warning you, we've been giving you the pathways, the different things that this devil is going to use to implement this. And most of you people have not been hearkening. Hey, that universal basic income is another pathway to that micro C hip. It's going to be from cash to digital currency to the micro C hip. So that path to the C hip is much more clearer now. Okay?
I don't trust the government, and no one else should trust the government. And just because this administration is committed to that doesn't mean that a future administration will not lock down our bank accounts if we are not doing and saying what they want us to do. We've already been there. That was the past 4 years. I don't want to ever go back to that, and I don't want that future for my children, Steve. And so I am upset today. I'm adamantly no to this, and I wish I had more Republicans standing with me.
See? Hey, man. If you can't see that the mark of the beast is the micro C hip, the Lord has truly blinded you. So this is just another pathway, another avenue for them to implement that MOTB, man. All right, which is the micro C hip. See, Esau does things gradually, right? He tries to be like the Most High. What is that? Let's get this word gradualism. Right?
Gradualism.
It says a policy of gradual reform, then sudden change or revolution. Right? If he was to implement this thing all of a sudden, you'll have a whole bunch of backlash. But as it were, they're doing things in steps. First they rolled out you can have now a card that contains your money. Then once that was implemented, he started taking away the cash. He has already implemented to where no more pennies are going to be made. And pretty soon they're going to pass that law toward physical paper money, man. Well, all of these things are now pushing forth to show you that the pathway to the micro C hip is much more clearer. All right? Now, in turn, when they had those credit cards, what they went to then? Tap and buy. They were gradually constructing the people's mind to tap their hand, man. Let's see, Revelations 13, and you see she mentioned it. Revelations 13 and 16. See, this is that pathway that's going to lead to a lot of people succumbing to the beast and taking his micro C hip. But it's done through gradualism. It's a gradual reform. When they took people off the gold standard, it was done in a gradual process, man. And they went to having it backed by oil. But now Saudi Arabia didn't no longer sign that deal, for their oil to be traded in American dollars. So these devils have to have another avenue to where the dollar is going to be relevant, man. But this is Yahawah once again showing you who his men are. It's clear. Real quick, what is that? Oh man, I want to say Sirach. Let me see. Declare. Let's see if we can just look it up by declare. Let's go to the Apocrypha. I want to say it's in Sirach. Where the Lord says he's going to declare his doctrine exactly. Let me see. Yep. Sirach chapter 16, or Ecclesiastes chapter 16 and verse 25. I will show forth doctrine in weight and declare his knowledge exactly. See that? So these things that we have been prophesying and telling you about has been declared exactly, man. We haven't wavered. We haven't deviated, you know. More important, man, we ain't done with these other camps today, man. You know? They're the ones who keep changing it up. And scripture's plain to say, don't give yourself to someone that's subject to change. You know? So while we've been declaring the doctrine of Yahawashi, exactly, these guys been wavering in their stance, man. You know, you can read in the NLT, what is that, Habakkuk, I believe. Well, I will declare, matter of fact, I think it goes like, what is it? The correct message, right? Let's get that. Yeah, we've been giving you the correct message through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. You see? Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets so a runner can carry the correct message. You see that? So the correct message has been pushed forth from the apostles and elders, all right, and men all the way down a great millstone, all right? And their affiliates, the one who speak the same doctrine as we do, man. It's been declared correctly. And you guys, you're going to be found out as liars. Because it's so clear that the path to the sea here is being made manifest right before your eyes, man. Again, if you can't see this, the Lord has really blocked you. He really wants you to take that micro C here. He wants you to eat a missile, man. Let's go to it. We go to it all the time. Right? Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Let's get this word mark. Okay? We're going to go through it again because, see, when a warning goes out, it's a constant thing. It's not you warn for a little while and then you done. No, it's a constant warning. See, the Lord is thoroughly letting you know what he's going to do on the planet Earth. Strong's G 5480.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma.
Charagma or charagma, right? Charagma. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark. Then you know it's something physical. There's no spiritual mark that Esau is going to present to the people, man. How are you going to physically buy and sell? See, that makes no sense. All right? It says of the mark stamp on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, again, something physical. Thing carved, sculpture, graven work. Right, if you ultimately take this man see him, you're bowing down to him. That was the whole thing with Nebuchadnezzar and the three holy children. You know, if you succumb to this man advances and take his mark, you're gonna die, man. It says in the Strongs, it says a scratch or etching, i.e. stamp, as a badge of servitude. Right, it's a badge of servitude. Now we can read and believe in Exodus 21 how a Hebrew servant, if he plainly say, matter of fact, let's just go get it. Because see, these devils know the law, man. Don't think they don't. That's how they're able to go against it. Because they know what the Lord wants done in the earth, you know. But they vehemently come up against it. They're adverse. They're adversaries. Okay? Exodus chapter 21 and verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then he and his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons and daughters, and that's what state we really in, man. You know, our wives, our sons, and our daughters, they really not ours. Why? Because they're part of this man's world. You know, they're part of his system. Their minds are polluted. It says, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. And if that servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. And that's what you people going to say, man. You people going to plainly say, I want this system to continue. I want to continue to live here in America and keep going how it's going. Yeah, that's what you going to plainly say. And the six you saying, you plainly love your master. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl. See that? And he shall serve him forever. You see? Now you go into the root word of that word charagma. It's karax, which is what? The delivery system. Right? That pail, that palisade, that stake, that awl that Esau is going to use to pierce you people through, man. I want to get this word awl. Let's see what it gives us. We might have to do a Google definition, but let's see if it gives us anything here. It's a phrase with an awl, right? It says a boring instrument. You see that? A boring instrument. You know, something that is inserted. See? As those things was inserted inside the ear of the servant who plainly say he loved his master. That's how you people gonna be, man. Why? Because you want this world, this system to continue. You don't want to see this place done away with. Well, guess what? That's gonna surely, all right, secure your death here. Matter of fact, let's get this and just close it out. Let's see, the point is made, man. You know, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, and the Lord is dealing with you, you can see that this place is doomed, man. You know, you can see that the micro C hip is the MOTB. All right? Revelations 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, when you receive his mark, you basically bowing down and worshiping him, man. The same test, the same trial that was done to the three holy children, man. You know, they didn't have to take a micro seal, but the whole thing behind it is for this man to be worshipped, man. You know, you worshiping the creature more than creator, you know. So when the three holy children was presented to bowing down and worshiping that graven image, you know, that graven work, what did they say? O king, we ain't gonna do it, basically, you know. And they weren't careful with their words, man. Okay, verse 10. This is the judgment, man, for bowing down, you know. Revelations 14 and verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. See? Yeah, you're going to catch a missile, man. You're going to be burned the hell up. That's the fate of all who take this man's mark. You see? And the path is much clearer now. So I pray this has been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Till the next time, Shalom.